Hi everybody, let me take you on a little update of how things are here in China. We're 2 months into the crisis. You guys are just starting. So let's stop and think for a second. Now, this is where I live, my apartment building. This is around where I live. You can see delivery drivers. This is a Monday morning. People are out on their day. You can see cars driving by. Things are back to normal. This is not the most crowded place in the world. This is pretty normal. Now, when I say normal, what I'm really talking about is a new normal. What will happen, I think, in the US and other places is you're going to go into a pretty intense lockdown for about a month, and then things will slowly start to open up, get back to normal. Shops will reopen with different protocols in place for going inside, like this Family Mart. So it was completely closed for 2 weeks at the start of the crisis when I got back in January. And then it reopened, but you couldn't go inside. That table you can see the corner of right there was blocking the way. A clerk would come out and ask you what you wanted. And they would run into the store and get whatever it was. I remember wanting a bottle of beer, and I said, 我要那个啤酒. And I didn't know how to say the brand name in Chinese. I wanted an Asahi. And so they ran into the back, grabbed the beer, pulled it up, and I was like, no, 没有 or 不要 我要还有那个 okay. Show me another one. No. Show me another one. 不要 show me another one. Go on. Anyway, so over time, those restrictions have lifted, but as you can see, everyone is wearing face masks. People are still cautious. The taxis all have bubble wrap inside of them, so the back seat is separated from the driver. This is an intense period of adjustment to a new normal. The new normal includes checkpoints at the entrance like this. Checkpoints at the entrance to every community. As you can see, well, these tents are new, and you can see delivery gets dropped off there. They check that woman's temperature and make sure that they're registered at that location. In China, the app that you use actually records every time you get on the subway, every time you go to your house, every time you go to your friend's house, which is not encouraged, but you can register another location and go to your girlfriend's house or whatever. When you first start the app, you have to register if you've left the country as well. So my app has my travel history to Malaysia, then come back here, and it says every time I go into my apartment, every time I go to my girlfriend's apartment, and every time I ride the subway, which I rarely do. Anyway, so there are intensive structures in place to find coronavirus clusters, right? Everyone you've been in contact with. So when one person gets sick, they can look back, see everywhere you've been, and ask everyone who's also been there to check. That's how that works here. It will be slightly different in the US, but not entirely different. We are concerned about surveillance, yes, but even democracies like Taiwan and South Korea are implementing very similar policies to what they're doing here. Now, anyway, I'm not getting into the whole policy debate. I'm just saying what you should expect to happen. So, anyway, the new normal is what goes on. You need this intense crunch time to get ready. You need to learn to wear a face mask. Take your shoes off when you go inside. Have indoor and outdoor clothing. Wash your hands regularly. There's lots of things that you need to be bombarded with and ready to do when things get back to normal. You should be scared, but you shouldn't freak out. You should be scared enough to take normal precautions. You should not freak out and lose your mind. You're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Anyway, so let me show you the new normal. So like I said, this Family Mart used to have a thing, used to be closed, phase 1. Phase 2, they blocked it off. You could still get your stuff. And phase 3 is now I can go in. But watch what happens when I go in. All right, so I walk into the place. All right, first I take some hand sanitizer. take care of my that. Oh yeah, okay. And then I get my temperature checked. Now I can go in. I just walked in here a minute ago, so my hands are still clean. And now I can look at the selection, which one thing about China is milk tea, which people love. We've got all kinds of selection, Red Bulls, beers, all kinds of stuff going on. Let's see, tea, what do I want to drink this morning? Make myself a cup of coffee. Do I want a coconut water? You know what I'm looking for? Oh, here we go. I'm getting this Coca-Cola with coffee in it. Let's see. One thing is, I've rarely seen this place get cleared out completely versus the US, where I guess you've had big problems with that, but it did drop down pretty low. Anyway, here's the selection in a Chinese convenience store. Potato chips, blah, blah, blah. These are pretty good, but they're gonna make me fat. Anyway, welcome to the new normal. Everything's gonna be fine. Bye-bye.